Hello and welcome to Misti Arts and Crafts. I'm Libby and today I'm going to be using masks, and I'm going to be using them 3 different ways to show you some uses for them. I'm going to be using heart ones today, but you could use this with circles or squares or anything else you have. So this is the first one. This one is using die cuts to fill this mask. So that's how it turned out. And so I'm going to be taping this mask. I actually cut this out with my Cricut, but if you have dies, this would work well too. I just cut it out of a regular piece of cardstock, and I'm just going to tape it to my card base with some washi tape, but feel free to use any tape you have or would like to use. So next, I have this bin full of things that I have I haven't used, and but I cut out for another project and it didn't quite work. So I'm going to be using these on my project today because I had them and I thought it would be fun to fill a heart with. So that's really what inspired this video, along with a video Christina Warner did, which I will try to link up in the top right corner if I can. And she used stamps in a heart arrangement, and I thought it looked really cool, so I thought I'd try it with these die cuts. But yeah, I'm just going to be arranging them in this heart area. You can do it however you want, with whatever die cuts you want. I find smaller ones work the best, like not super big ones. These ones worked well. This is the Spellbinders Mini Blooms and Sprigs, and I just used some of those to cut some different colors of cardstock out. Next, I will be gluing them in there. So I tried to keep them in there. It didn't quite work exactly how I wanted it to, but I think it worked pretty well. And so yeah, I'm just going to be using some Barely Arts glue. Any liquid glue would work for this. I glued those big ones down, and then I decided all of the little ones got mixed up, so I just dumped it out and decided to place it in the arrangement I thought it went. So yeah, in any of the smaller spaces, I like to place little leaves for this. I find florals work really well for these, and I think they look really good too. But feel free to use whatever you like. There will still be spaces in there where it's kind of a lot of space, but it's too small for a die cut or something. And I have a trick for that, or like a hack for that that I find works really well. So I will show you that towards the end when we assemble the card. So yeah. I also find that if you have a jewel picker, or in this case I use some glue on the end of a paintbrush, that works really well to put the smaller pieces in. For this next one, you saw that I had a bunch of sentiments stamped in this mask. This is the same mask. I decided to mark where I wanted it to change color, but you could do it all one color or do whatever you want. That's just what I decided to do. I'm going to be using the Hero Arts Hello Stamp and Cut. I'm just going to be using the stamps out of there, and any that I think I like for this card, I'm just going to stamp them in that heart area. I'm going to be using these 3 colors of Distress Oxides. I have Kitsch Flamingo, Mustard Seed, and Salvage Patina. I think these work really well and are very versatile, because they do make a rainbow when blended together. So I find that these ones work really well for pretty much any project, but you can do what colors you like, or if you have colors in mind, that works as well. For this one, I decided to stamp them half and half. So I did Kitsch Flamingo on the top and then Mustard Seed on the bottom of that word. This is a little bit hard because it is a small stamp, but I think it worked okay. So yeah. I'm just going to fill this whole heart up with these sentiments, yeah. I used the same sentiments from the stamp set to fill the whole heart. I picked like 4 or something, but you can do whatever you you would like. And I find that this makes a nice background, something subtle. It's definitely more subtle than the other two I'm doing today. I find that, sorry, my camera moved there. I accidentally bumped it. I find that it's kind of hard to see from a distance, and sometimes it does get lost, but I found that it did work for my card. So I'm just going to stamp the last few there at the bottom. You want to get them as tight as you can. I did have a little space, but I think it doesn't show too much at the end. And then this last technique you can see here, I have ink blended it, and I have stamped some small images in there. Now this could technically be two techniques, ink blending being one and the stamps being another. I decided to combine them into this one, and I think it worked really well, but you can do both of them separately, together, whatever you want. To do the ink blending, I chose 4 different inks of the Distress Oxide. I chose Mustard Seed, Carved Pumpkin, Saltwater Taffy, and Wilted Violet. And I find that this made a nice summer background, like sunsetty kind of thing. And that worked really well for the stamps I was going to use. But you can, again, pick the colors that you like for this. I'm using that same heart mask that I used. So I picked a bunch of images that I wanted to stamp from a stamp set that I had, and I'm going to just be stamping them with the different Distress Oxide inks. I did have to stamp them several times, but I think that it turned out really cool, and it was, again, the stamps were subtle because the colors were really bold. I felt like we didn't need too much more, so here I have used the same colors to stamp, and I'm just trying to blend them as best as I can here and there, but yeah. So I have like a bunch of different ones, probably like 6 or 7 maybe. I do have a lot there, and I'm just going to fill it and blend it as best as I can. I find if you get too dark of color, you can go over with the other color several times and it will mute it a little bit if you like. And yeah, I think it turned out really cute, and it was definitely like summery and beachy, so I think yeah, it turned out really well. This one I think is actually from the February 2021 kit from Hero Arts for this one. I think that's what it was, so it was a while ago, but any small stamps would work for this. Next, for these fish, I'm going to just stamp one at a time into some different areas on the background so that it doesn't interfere with any of the other stamps, but fills the space. That would otherwise be awkward and weird without that. So I'm just going to take off the mask, and I think it turned out really well. So to fill, well, really quick, I want to take a look at the finished card so we know the direction we're heading first. But yeah, this is the finished card for the die cut technique. And to fill those little spaces, I used embellishments. I played with a bunch of different embellishments to see which ones I liked. I really wanted to do these jewels, but they just did not fit. So I decided to go for these little pink hearts, and I think they actually matched better. And I think, yeah, it turned out really, really cute, and I really, really liked it. And then I debated on what I would do for the centers of the flowers, because I felt like they needed something, especially those tiny ones and the bigger ones. I felt like they looked a little plain and needed something. So yeah, I then was playing with sentiments too, but yeah, I then decided on these little sequins for the center of them, and I think that was really cute and gave a little bit more texture than cardstock would, and shine too. So yeah, just gonna add all of those there. And then I was playing with sentiments. I liked this thank you and also the sending lots of love. I did another one off camera with the sending lots of love, and I think that one turned out really well too. But I chose this thank you sentiment, which I did love as well. You can really decide on what sentiment you want for these and just play with them. I liked sentiment strips on these actually. I think those turned out really well, but you can do whatever you want. And then for this next one, this is the finished card, and you can see I used a floral that I had on hand. I just colored that with some Distress Oxide inks and a blender tool. Just really simply, I had it laying around and it was a great opportunity to use it, and I think it looked good on this. And I just tried to use the same colors on the flower so that it would coordinate well. And then I'm going to be using this thinking of you sentiment. I am popping all the sentiments up for these, and I will just place it right there. I didn't want to take out the blue color because I didn't feel like there was a lot of it in the first place, so I think it turned out okay. And then here is my last one with the stamping and the ink blending. This is the direction we are heading. So I played with a few different ideas. I played with stamping this umbrella, or stamping and die cutting it with white cardstock, and I thought both of them looked pretty good, but I ultimately decided on the die cut one, and then I added the Sending Sunshine sentiment right there. I thought it went perfectly, and so yeah, those are my cards for today. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and come back next Tuesday for a new video. If you're interested in any of the supplies I used today, check the description box below. For more inspiration, please consider liking and subscribing, and for even more inspiration and updates, check out my Instagram and Pinterest accounts at Misti Arts and Crafts. Have a great day. See you soon.